Jeff Denny again, Creative Home Buying Solutions. Wanted to do a quick video here on the myth of bankruptcy. First thing is a disclosure. This is not legal or financial advice. This is strictly educational, and use it at your own expense. I find a lot of things about bankruptcy that people have the wrong idea what bankruptcy is and how it's going to free you, and how it really doesn't sometimes, and it has some other issues. So I just want to cover a couple of those topics. The first thing, when you have a house foreclosed on, there's a chance, and a very large chance, that you're going to have a deficiency judgment if the bank wants to pursue that. Deficiency judgment, as I discussed in the last video, is where you possibly owe, let's say, $100,000 or $110,000 on the original price of the house, and plus the attorney fees and late fees, and let's say your house sells for $50,000 at the sheriff's sale. The difference in that, the $50,000 to $60,000 in that example, the bank can go approach the courts again and say, Your Honor, they still owe us the difference, and that is called a deficiency judgment, which they can then garnish wages and things like that. So, and I hear people say, I'm not worried about the deficiency judgment because I'll file bankruptcy on it. Well, that will stop you from having to pay it to the bank, but what the bank will do is they'll normally turn that into the IRS as a 1099 as income. Since they loaned you $100,000 and they only got back $50,000, they're going to say that you got $50,000 in income. Well, IRS liens are not, and debts are not dischargeable in bankruptcy. Those are federal liens, so they can't be discharged. Otherwise, people would just let their back taxes get way behind and then file bankruptcy on them and discharge them. So a bankruptcy does not, under most circumstances, discharge an IRS debt. So that's one of the big problems, and another good reason to try to work out a short sale before it gets too far down the road. Another thing is, I get people that call in that say, I ask them how their credit is. Oh, it's great, we just filed bankruptcy. No, your credit is not great. Your credit is, your debts you may not have to pay, but the banks that you're going to try to get a future home loan on are going to know that you filed bankruptcy, and they're not going to loan you money for a period of years. Normally it's about 3 years for any kind of bank home loan after you file bankruptcy. And that's only if you reestablish credit during those 3 years also. You've established a new proven credit record. So you do not have like new credit once you file bankruptcy. Your credit is going to be screwed up for a number of years. Another thing is, this is really probably another one of those big slap in the faces, in my opinion, is it used to be if you got down on your luck and you just couldn't get ahead, you could file bankruptcy and kind of start new. Even though you were screwed up credit-wise, you could start new. Well, as a political favor, I believe it was in 2005, the banks lobbied your legislators, which this is the way everything works nowadays, funding their campaigns and whatnot, and they had a law passed that if you make a certain amount of income, that you could not file a total wipeout bankruptcy of your debt. You had to do a structured repayment plan of your debt. So here you are down on your luck, you got this house foreclosed on, and you have all this debt, and you think you're going to file bankruptcy, and if you make too much income, there's a chance that they won't even allow you to file a wipeout bankruptcy. You're going to have to just do some kind of repayment plan. So to me, that's a real slap in the face, and that was all done, basically as political favors. Really affected the little guy, in my opinion, and I don't agree with it, obviously, but that's something that's out there. So these are the myths and the problems with bankruptcy that you need to consider. It is not going to solve all of your problems. There's definitely going to be some issues first. That's why I feel a short sale, if you can get it to work out, is probably going to be your best solution. And I'm going to move on to the next video, and I hope you'll watch it. Thanks.